Hey guys, this is Satya. Hope you all are doing well today. Today in this particular video, I would like to explain you about the CSS tutorials. In this tutorials, I would like to explain you about the basic introduction for the beginners of what is CSS and how to use a CSS and what are the benefits of using a CSS. Now let's get started off. In this particular video, these are the topics which we're gonna cover in this particular session. The first topic would be what is CSS, why to use CSS, CSS syntax, different types of style sheets, along with an example with a live demo. So now let's get started off and understand what is CSS and how do we use it. What is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheets. The abbreviation for CSS is Cascading Style Sheets. CSS describes how an HTML elements are to be displayed on screen. CSS saves a lot of time and work. It can control the layout of multiple web pages all at once. External style sheets are stored in CSS files. Now, how to use a CSS? CSS is used to define styles for a web page, including the designs, the layouts, and the variation in display for different devices and screen sizes. So now we're going to understand about the CSS syntax. In syntax, we will have the selector, the declaration, along with the property and the value. The selector points to the HTML element you want to style. This is a selector, wherein this will be pointing the HTML element in the HTML file to which HTML element you would want to go ahead and give this particular style. Let's say, for example, if you want to give it to the header h1, you will be writing over here as h1. If you want to go ahead and give the style to a paragraph, you will be mentioning it as p over here. So in that way, you will be mentioning the selector. The declaration block contains one or more declarations separated by semicolons. So this is the declaration block, wherein you will have the property and the value mentioned in it with a semicolon closed off. Each declaration includes a CSS property name and a value. So this is the property name and this is the value. If you take the example of this particular syntax, color is a property name and blue is a syntax with the same. And this will be separated by a colon in between. A CSS declaration always ends with a semicolon and a declaration blocks are surrounded by curly brackets. So whenever you are mentioning a CSS syntax, that should be in between a flower bracket, a curly bracket, and a CSS declaration will always ends with a semicolon. So this is the semicolon wherein you will be ending each and every declaration up with a semicolon. So this is the basic format of how a CSS syntax looks like. Now let's go ahead and understand what are the three different styles of CSS style sheets. So these are the three different CSS style sheets, wherein the first is external style sheet, second is the internal style sheet, and third is inline style sheets. So we can use CSS in three different ways. One is external style sheet, second is internal style sheet, and the third is inline style sheet. In the coming videos, I'll go ahead and explain you about each and every style sheet, how to use the external style sheet, how to use the internal and the inline style sheets as well. So as this is a basic module, I'll be going ahead and informing you about the basic concepts of CSS. Now we'll see an example of a small CSS program. This is a syntax. So this is the positioning where I would like to give the instruction to the HTML document. So this is the P element. I would want to give it for the P defines that I would want to give this particular syntax, or I would want to give this particular style to a paragraph. So I'm starting with the P, then opening a flower bracket. I'm writing the color with the colon and I'm mentioning it as blue, closing with a semicolon, and also giving another style which is a text align, and I'm mentioning it as center with the closure of a semicolon, and I'm closing the flower bracket. And if you are mentioning this particular syntax, the output will be in this format. You will be getting the format in this particular way, wherein the color is mentioned as blue and the text is aligned in center. So now let's see a live demo of how this particular function works. I'm taking a normal HTML document wherein I've opened a HTML document, I've closed it, I'm writing the header, I have a body, I have a small data mentioned in this particular HTML document. So normal document of this HTML looks in this way. So this is how it looks like. Hello CSS learners, this is a small example of CSS style sheet. This is a normal format of writing an HTML document. Now I would like to add a CSS format into this particular HTML document, and let's understand how this is going to change. We will have to ensure that whenever we are writing a CSS style sheet, that has to be mentioned under header. So I'm opening a style. I would like to give this particular style to P. With an open flower bracket. I'm giving the color as blue. Also, I would like to give another style which is text align as center. I'm closing this with semicolon along with a flower bracket closure. I'm saving this particular file. Now let's see how this is going to use. I will have to close this style as well. Now let's save this and let's see the output. So this is how the output has come. We have mentioned that if you see this, I have mentioned that the color of this particular content should be in blue. It has come in blue, and the text align should be in center. So it is in center, and I have given this particular option to be mentioned for a P, which is a paragraph. So here I have mentioned the paragraph as hello CSS learners, and P, this is a small example of CSS style. Now let's make a small change in this and try to understand a small difference. I'm changing the alignment to right. I'm saving this and let's see the output. Here it is. It has moved to right. I would want to go back and change it to center. Save this. Refresh, you'll be getting the data in the center. Now I just wanted to have this particular style statement given only to a specific line. I'm removing the paragraph over here. I'm saving this. Let's see how this is going to work. If you see this, it is only given to a specific line wherein it is mentioned as P. So wherever it is mentioned as P, it will be taken automatically, and that particular color or that particular style which you have provided will be applicable to that particular specific P lines. You can give it to a paragraph, you can give it to a header, whatever it might be. So in this way you'll be going ahead and giving the style statements, style sheets to a CSS document or a HTML document to give it a usual benefit. So this is how you will be using the CSS in HTML files. Hope you all have loved and liked this particular video and understand the concepts of CSS, which is a cascading style sheet. Thank you for watching this video. Please do subscribe for our channel, and please do post your comments as well if you have any suggestions or if you have any doubts in terms of understanding of CSS. Thank you so much for watching this video once again. Thank you.